everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday video with you on screen friends Zahar. Destroying everything. This video is not 100% factual and technically is not a fact at all, but this is just some of experiences that I've experienced growing up in Russia, and majority of kids my age and maybe a little bit older did experience as well. So first of all, I learned that it's extremely important to wash your plate after you're done eating buckwheat or grechka, or at least to pour some hot water on top of it, because otherwise it's gonna be ridiculously hard to wash it after that. And if you never had buckwheat or grechka, this is a picture of it, and this is some sort of grain like rice, like all of that stuff, and it's really delicious. Growing up in the 90s, I remember the excitement of getting a little plastic numbers inside of your cheese. I'm pretty sure that right now they don't put those in the cheese, but it was fun. Also, I remember every winter going on a slide, or basically a big hill that was covered in snow and sometimes ice, and slide down on it using a piece of linoleum. So you basically was sliding down on a piece of flooring. And I never brought a piece of linoleum of my own because, I never had just a random piece of linoleum at my house that just nobody needed. But that was such a fun thing to do. And then after you were done having all the fun on the slide, you were going home, and in my case, sometimes I would stay at my grandma's house, so before I could enter her house, I had to use a big broom to take out the snow from my coat and my shoes and my pants and all of that, so I would not bring it inside of the house and just make everything wet. Also, every spring we will drink juice from the tree, from a birch tree. I actually remember me and my dad going to my grandma's house and finding the birch tree in her yard, and we did a little cut on the tree, and then we put around the cheesecloth, and we put this cheesecloth like from the tree inside of the big jar, so the juice will just drip in the jar, and then we'll just grab the jar and drink the yummy birch tree juice. In Russia, plain sunflower seeds are kind of a big deal. I remember the times when you could buy the sunflower seeds outside from grandmas who were selling it to get some money, and they were measuring it in glasses, and then they were putting it in this cone made of a newspaper, and you just buy it and you just walk and eat them, and they're super addictive. Majority of the people who grew up in Russia at least once experienced the whole beauty of zelionka, or brilliant green. So basically this magical elixir is made from alcohol and some green dye, and it's like pharmaceutical, and it's like comes in a little bottle. So every time when you were a child you got a cut on your knee or whatever you got to cut on, your mom or your grandma or somebody who really loves you just puts it on the cut, and it burned so freaking bad. And also that thing, the brilliant green zelionka, also used to work on the chicken pox. So imagine you have chicken pox, and each of them you put this green thing and you just put it on it, so you look like a frog in the end. And if you got a cut or you just scraped your knee in the wild, you need to look for plantains, or подорожник, which basically is a leaf that grows out of ground, and you need to pick it up, one of them, put your saliva on it, and just put it on top where you got a cut or you scraped something. And this thing sticks to it, so you're walking with the piece of leaf stuck to you, and apparently it's supposed to help you heal and, do all the great stuff. One of my personal favorites was whenever my mom will ask me to go to the store to buy a loaf of bread, I would go, and on my way back home, I would just start eating that bread. And the funny thing that the store was literally 1 minute away from my house, and I don't like bread that much. I can't eat bread by itself. But that moment when you get a whole fresh baked loaf of bread and you just start biting on it and just bite a little bit, it was so delicious, it's so memorable. And the last thing that I vividly remember, and it was kind of a big trend thing when I was growing up, was whenever you outside with your friends, you're just hanging out, and one of your friends wants a glass of water, so they ask you, can you go home real quick and bring me a glass of water or something? I'm really thirsty. And your response will be that No, my parents, they will force me to stay home if I will go in.
Кать, можешь вынести воды? Меня домой загонят.
And in my case, my parents would probably kick me right back out because they will want me to be outside in the fresh air, but it was the thing that we're all sad. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Leave in the comments down below some of the experiences that you had in your childhood, and majority of kids with your age had. And there was like a trend or whatever, or weird thing that you were guys doing that probably other people will not get because they were not in this country or this, culture. I also want to wish you a wonderful day with a lot of good nostalgia about good times, how cool it was. So yeah, and to help you with that, I'm gonna give you something special. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, well, here is the button right here. You can press it, get subscribed. Yeah, and here are some, my other videos that you should probably check out because you'll probably like them. I'm not sure, but probably you will. And just remember that you're an awesome potato. And you know what awesome potatoes do? They smile.